Let go.
And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything that's on their mind, so they have an extra one, and that's how we get the podcast.
What are y'all laughing about?
The podcast.
Carson just randomly just saying words.
The podcast. Big D and Bubba podcast.
I don't know if I trust y'all. When y'all start laughing, I always think that I'm being punked somehow.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
She just goes, show, week. She's just like not.
Oh,
Because
well,
I can't sing, and I'm afraid it's going to...
She's always afraid that it's going to be just us in the room and then nobody can hear the track again. Like
I
it did
hate
that
the
one
fact
time.
when we do bits on the air, like where we're singing, and you don't sing. Like you never do, and I notice it. But like we don't sing either. But I wish you would.
I was going to say, I don't sing.
Neither one of you do. It's always me and Patrick.
That's right.
Because you guys apparently can carry it, too.
No,
we
have you
can't.
heard Big D? No.
Hey, they have no shame, is what it is. They have no shame or no knowledge.
I have no shame.
You should
at
have
all.
seen me last night. It's Bubba's favorite part of any Garth Brooks show when he does Unanswered Prayers and he turns it over to the audience. And the thing is, it's kind of quiet. And I'm kind of singing along, and I'm like, no, somebody's going to hear me, and I'm terrible. So I'm just
Garth.
mouthing the words.
Please, God, you know what?
Stop
If we
letting the crowd.
Here's what we do. If we ever get Garth in here, remember the Garth Jar deal is he has to sing 3 songs. One of them has to be Unanswered Prayers because no one's heard Garth Brooks sing Unanswered Prayers.
I don't think he even
live
knows the words.
Yeah, he probably doesn't.
That's why he lets the
probably
crowd
doesn't.
sing it. Is because he doesn't know the words to his own song. That's honestly, I think that's what it is.
How was the show, Carson?
It was really good. It was
How does it
great,
compare
actually.
to the other? Because you've been to a lot.
Yeah, and I've done, I think, every kind of show Garth has done, from arenas to dive bars to stadiums. And outside of being literally in front of him in a dive bar, I don't know that it gets better than just Garth and a guitar. That even, and I wasn't front row, I wasn't even on the floor, but it was just you felt very close. It was, he was fun, he was funny, he was telling great stories. I think it was really among the best that he can do, which speaks to him that it's just him and a guitar.
I was going to say, I've seen him do like just him, and I've never seen him acoustic like you're talking about ever. But I have seen him on TV shows where he does that, and I will agree with you. He's probably the best because he's one of those people that does not need auto-tune. Like there's a lot of people who do. He does not. And it doesn't matter the style of music he's doing. If he's doing R&B or country or whatever, classic rock or like some Jackson Brown song that Big D likes. He's just always perfect.
Shut up, Patrick.
No, it just makes me think of Carson.
Jackson Brown's awesome.
Carson's hatred for Dan Fogelberg that we got to talk about on the show today. It's one of my favorite things because most people either like Dan Fogelberg or don't know and don't care. But Carson is the only person I know who has a
Goes out of her
visceral-
way.
Yes. Oh, she just
To wish death
despises-
upon a man who's already dead.
What?
He's
dead?
that much.
Yes, he's dead.
Yeah,
Dead for
long
like
dead.
14 years.
But yeah, I try to explain it that my first real radio job, I was on what's called Adult Contemporary, and I was maybe 22.
Wait, can I guess? Was your station named after a river or a lake or a
was it
plant
called
of some
Light?
sort?
We were light.
Light.
We
got it.
were light. It was,
Tulip 102.
and they really liked me. And they said, "But you're 22. You have all this energy. They made me look. You need to sit down when you talk because you get too hyped.
chill out."
And I was playing these songs like Dan Fogelberg, and heaven forbid you play the Eagles because you had to say, and now a light rock favorite, because you had to let people know that the Eagles were rock and roll. We didn't want to scare the people that were there for Bette Midler.
So you played the Eagles. You played what, Desperado?
Yeah, and like
Hotel-
Peaceful, Easy Feeling.
Oh, what a jam that is.
Oh man,
I love it.
The only time I would get like totally turned, I would crank it up when I got to play Phil Collins Against All Odds.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm screaming
That's
at
the
the top
Take
of
a
my
Look at Me
lungs.
Now song?
Yes. Oh, it's
No,
and I
that's
would,
not. No. That's,
Yes, it
that's
is.
wait, you said
Take a
Against
look at
All
me.
Odds?
Yeah, take a look at
I
me
was
now.
thinking of the other one. I was thinking of the one.
Oh, in the air
In the
tonight?
Air Tonight,
Oh, that was a
yeah.
little heavy for
That's
us,
a little too
Patrick.
heavy.
Calm
Did you guys
down.
play Air Supply?
No, oddly enough. It
I
was-
like Air Supply.
Yeah.
and
REO
I would-
Speedwagon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was a
yes.
light rock favorite. Take
Of
It on the
course.
Run was a light rock favorite. We
Take
played
it
Billy
on.
Joel. We played You're So Vain. Carly Simon was in there.
I worked for a station like that before I met Big D and Bubba. I worked for a station called The River.
I don't think I would have lasted in radio had I worked for a station like that.
Oh, man.
I mean, young Bubba was like all about. I was in top 40, man, and I was
Now
doing.
here's another Michael Bolton favorite.
I love all that.
Here comes
stuff.
more Celine Dion, followed by Atlantis Morissette.
I gotta tell you, though,
but
the
one of the slow
highlight
songs.
was I got to do the world premiere of the new Barry Manilow song
Whoa!
that came out. And they knew. They're like, okay, this chick is going to see Megadeth at night, and then she's going to the country bar on Sundays for the free line dance lessons. But she loves Barry Manilow, and they're like, look, Barry's got this new song. We're gonna let you do the world premiere.
Wow.
It was pretty.
All your
Barry's-
favorites from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today.
Is
Oh, wait.
Barry
I wanna
Manilow
hear
still
you do that.
alive?
Yes,
Yeah, he's
currently
Okay.
performing in Vegas. The best positioning statement, that's like radio jargon.
Like the slogan?
Yes. So it was, we'd say like Light 100.5, where we always tell you the names of the songs that we play.
Oh,
Yeah, anytime you ever have a radio station tell you that we always tell you the name of the songs that we play, it's because they have nothing else to say.
Nothing.
If you have or have
If
worked,
you're
and we've
hanging
all,
your hat on that.
yes, we have all worked for that guy.
No, we literally worked for that guy.
That's what I'm saying. We've all worked for that person. They have no idea how to go on and have a conversation with their listeners.
Remember the station that we were on where they went into the music library and put the station voice person at the end of every song telling you the name of the song?
Just awful.
That was Big and Rich. Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Well, they didn't do that. It was always just
Save a horse, ride a cowboy, big and rich.
Yes.
Dang, Carson.
You actually got it down.
Yeah,
Was that you?
No, somebody asked me to do it once, and I was like, no.
Do you do a lot of voiceover stuff, Carson?
No.
She should.
I don't know
really
how to
should.
get into it, and I'm apparently too lazy
I have
to
a
find out.
friend who's done a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can make an introduction.
Well,
maybe
Tracy, who I do the podcast with, we used to stop following me, and Tracy went from being in radio to being full-time professional voiceover, and I've listened to her demos, and Tracy is like my wild kind of crazy. She's this rock girl, and then I hear what she does, and I think, whoa, she's got some talent. She's got some range. I feel like I'm a one-trick pony. I don't know that I can do that stuff.
I don't know, but you can go full QVC Carson.
Yes,
on
that
us.
I can do.
I watched QVC for the first time and and I thought
Was
about
it Alberti? Was it In the Kitchen with David?
Oh my
Did you
gosh,
see Leah?
Actually, watch it, don't you?
I mean, I do.
Could you give us a little QVC Carson on the pickle jar filled
okay.
with nickels?
Oh, yeah.
If you want to hold that out.
Nickels. Yeah, so the Pickle Jar app is a wonderful. Look, they have revolutionized what's going on with how you can tip artists. We've all been at the bar, and who carries cash anymore? So instead, you've got the Pickle Jar app, where you're able to give the money directly to the artist. And get this, the artist gets 100% of it. So you know that when you're tipping it, it's a 1-2 transaction from you to them.
I just
like that.
I just contributed to that. I just put a tip into the tip jar for that. I was captivated.
Hey, speaking of, we had Dylan Carmichael on the show, and we were talking about the tip jar and all that. I just want to mention again, he performed Son of a and what was the
Hot
the
Beer.
Hot Beer.
Great songs, definitely worth a tip. So if you can, just go to our social media at Big D and Bubba.
Did we post
and
those
scroll
videos?
through? They're getting one of them got posted. One of them will come up after the podcast because it's all coming off. That's coming off of my phone, and that's that little camera right there. So
Gotcha.
I can't do it till then.
No, he was great though.
He was fantastic. I loved it.
I had somebody texted in and said, "Hey, is he related to Eddie Montgomery?"
Yeah, because he sounds just like him.
Sounds just like him. So yeah, it's his uncles are John Michael Montgomery and Eddie. So that's where that comes from. They're like, I thought so. I was like, good ears.
I like that he has a different name though. Like like it's
Not
not
a Montgomery.
Montgomery. So it's cool because it's not like he's riding on anybody's coattails.
He has an amazing soap opera name. Dylan
That is
Carmichael.
a soap opera name.
He should have been on All My Children or something, except he would have been -2. But
Yes.
it was
one
a
of the
great
Carmichaels. Dylan Carmichael.
Name. Yeah. So good.
Is
I
that one
love
of the
it.
names from the show?
No,
know.
but
It
it
just
sounds
sounds
like a
something
soap
you made
opera
up
name,
on
like
Knots
Jackson
Landing.
Montgomery.
What was that show with
Palmer
the alien?
Cortland.
What was the one with the alien or like the little puppet that was talking?
Passions.
Passion.
That was
Passions.
Timmy. That
That's
was
Carson's
Timmy.
show.
I
Back
did
when
love
Stacy and
Passions.
I had just met, she would watch that show. And I would walk in, and every time somebody would refer to anybody as somebody's name, it was always their first
Their
and
full
last
name.
Yes. Well, okay, Dylan Carmichael, let me explain something. Like, it was the weirdest thing.
The
They're
best was
talking
you
to
had Luis Lopez Fitzgerald. So they had to say 3 names for
Why?
him.
Why? No one talks
Because
like
it was
that.
a brand new soap opera and they were trying to drill the characters into your head. So you knew that Sheridan Crane had a thing for Luis Lopez Fitzgerald. That's why I remember the names.
But it was the weirdest thing. Like, Patrick, if you were going to order, they would say, "What would you like to eat, Patrick Thomas?" I
Yeah,
mean,
that's-
what?
That's a
Or-
strange.
It was very
That's how
odd.
they really tried to drill it in your head who these characters were.
There aren't many new soap operas that come out. Aren't all of them been
Virgin
around for a
River,
long
baby.
time?
Yeah, well, because also so many of them got canceled. The only ones left are Days, General Hospital, and there might be like Young and the Restless might still be on.
As far as dailies,
Yeah, the
What
actual
about the
soaps.
Bold and the Beautiful? Is that gone?
I'm
Wasn't
not-
that linked to Young and the Restless?
That's the thing.
I don't really know.
I consider Virgin River on Netflix.
Oh, it's such a soap.
It's a soap opera.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't know why they don't just go ahead and make it a soap so we don't have to wait for the next, 6 months to get
Man, because they
another
dragged
season.
out the storyline in this last season. It's so
Yup.
boring. You could have just watched the last episode and you were fine.
With all the people I've said this before, with all the people looking for cheap content, I don't know why they don't have more soaps and just stream them now.
Like I said, Netflix,
Well, they
Hulu,
do.
whoever.
I know, like Days of Our Lives and all those are on the apps. I forget what network it was or which
Yeah,
app
but
it
that's
was.
the
but
ones that
they're-
already exist.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I mean,
No, but they
soaps are
went
so
all the way back, so you can go and watch decades old soaps.
Right, that's the ones that already exist. I'm saying soaps are cheap to produce when you do it. Like it's all that kind of almost live, one take kind of thing. Those they were notoriously cheaper to do than like 3-camera sitcoms. And stuff.
I would totally, if I were like one of the networks that still owns or whatever the production company, whoever still owns the old episodes, just go and literally do a reboot. So you don't even have to think of new ideas. You just have somebody fix the script to make it age appropriate, time appropriate kind of thing. So you just go through and you take out the references to Nixon and you throw in, Biden, that kind of stuff.
And most of them didn't make a ton of pop culture references. If you go and watch them, that they existed in their own universe. So you
that's
wouldn't
what I'm
have
thinking
to
of
change
the few
too
times I was
much.
forced to watch a soap with my ex-wife. Like they didn't seem to be very.
I
current.
grew up on All My Children. I was obsessed with that show, and you never had a reference to anything that was going on in the outside world.
Well, then why do they not reboot this stuff? The scripts are already written, and you
Because
just
they're-
kind of place it into
I
a
mean,
new
I don't
fabricated
understand.
town.
I just don't understand how they don't already have all that stuff. There
Yeah.
should be. I know some of the soap operas, are available here and there, but there's just so much need for content. We should all be just throwing that stuff
You're
at
right.
the wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What else is going on with you guys? You got Thanksgiving coming up next week, and everyone is everyone leaving? Are you traveling?
No, I'm staying in town. No, but before that, what's coming up for me is on Sunday, I am going to the Country Music Hall of Fame to watch Hank Williams Jr. get
Oh,
inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Oh, I'm so
right.
excited.
That's right.
And I have a bet with a friend as to whether or not George Strait shows up to sing the chair. Because he has to show up and sing the chair, right?
Oh, yeah.
So for when there's an artist getting inducted, it's always 3 other people come and sing 3 of their songs.
3 other
But when it's
singers.
Singers, right. As a tribute to them because they're sitting in the, in the audience. But what about when it's like a songwriter? And I feel like the other category is songwriter, producer, musician, and it rotates. When Don Schlitz was there, Kenny Rogers did not show up and sing The Gambler, but I don't think he was doing real great. So I'm not sure if that's the reason why. But then when Fred Foster got inducted, he's a producer, and he produced Dolly Parton's first single, and she showed up and sang it. And then he gave Chris Christopherson the idea for me and Bobby McGee, and Christopherson showed up and sang it. So I'm like, dude, Dean Dillon, like George
Yeah, he
Strait,
does.
that's
He's
your
gotta
guy,
do
right?
that.
It's George
Yeah.
Strait. They're forever linked together. So I'm kind of like, oh, George Strait's going to show up and sing
be
the chair.
neat.
But Someone's gonna sing the chair. Maybe
That
it won't
would
be
Do they
you.
sell tickets for that or something?
No, you can't. You have to be
It's
like
invite only kind
Oh
of
yeah,
deal?
it's invite only.
And how do
have
you
to
get to go?
Because I'm on the leadership team for the Troubadour
Nobody
at the Hall of
invited
Fame.
me.
No.
I mean,
Dude, it's not. I had to. It's taken me years to get high enough in that organization that I could get invited.
I will say this, though. If anybody deserves to be there, it's you, especially for this year, because Hank Jr. this has been your pet project for a decade, trying to get him into the Hall of Fame.
I think I'm gonna go live from until they shut me down. From the there's a Facebook page, Get Hank in the Hall. I feel like that should be the last thing I post on that Facebook page. Should be like a video of him getting up there.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
get
do that.
his plaque or to unveil his plaque. Like how awesome! I'm just very
So
excited.
if you go to Facebook, just search "Get Hank in the Hall"
Get Hank
and
in
you'll
the
find
Hall.
a page there. Go ahead and like it, follow it, turn on the little bell thing. That way you get the notifications. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, there'll be a live stream. Maybe. Who knows?
That's cool.
That's really cool.
All right.
Can't-
So
I people are like, what is Bo Cephas gonna say? He's gonna get up there and he's gonna rail against the fact that it took 50 years, or he's not gonna show up, or he'll be,
I hope he doesn't show up.
no.
That's the most Hank, and I
I
know
think it's
you
the
want
total
to see
opposite.
him.
I think you're going to see a Bo Cephas you've never seen before. I think he's going to get up there, humble, teary-eyed, talk about how his daddy was the first one in and he's the last one in. Like that's awesome, man. I really think you're going to see a totally different guy. Get
I
up
would
there.
love to see that, but I also kind of want to see him be very Bo
I know, I
Cephas
just
and
want him to
the
be him,
no-show.
man.
If he gets up there and he pulls the thing off and he goes, "Don't look nothing like me. Peace out," and it walks off the stage, something like that. It's
So
just been great. I don't think that's going to happen.
I do want to say this. I want to add something. So Jared Robinson on YouTube commented. He said, "Hey, random comment, but do you guys remember predicting the pandemic a couple of years ago on a podcast?" And I was like, "No, what did we say?" He said it was one of the episodes where it was talking about me being a prepper, and we said something about how the nation wasn't prepared for a pandemic, and we had this big lengthy conversation on it, how it was going to eventually come and all that kind of stuff. I just think that's cool because we predicted that.
And we didn't even
I don't
remember.
that. Yeah, I don't remember that.
We've said so much in 360 something podcasts. We have no idea.
So what else is coming? Aliens,
That is coming. That is absolutely
oh
coming.
my
Don't
gosh.
ghosts. We got ghosts like Ghostbusters.
All right, but no, the alien thing is going to happen. We're this close from disclosure.
Yeah.
I mean, Dee and I both follow it pretty
Yep.
closely.
By the way, y'all been saying we're this close for like 5 years.
Well, this close is a relative term.
oh, of course it is.
And when
like
you think
any decade now.
we are closer to we are closer to disclosure than we are to the Roswell crash. I will just say that.
That was 70 years ago.
See what I mean? So, yeah, we're getting closer. Joey wants to know if I still use my Peloton. And, man,
Still?
Okay.
Baba, no.
no, I did. I really did. And I got the split seat for it because the other seat was numbing parts of my body that should never get numb. That has helped. And I've gotten on it a couple times recently, but
When was the last time you got on it?
it's been a couple weeks. Hey, but I did get on it.
There you go.
But
Why do
yeah,
you have a gym membership then?
why do I?
Why,
Because
that's right, Bubba. Why do you have a gym membership?
because I need to put muscle back on. The COVID year where I stopped working out.
Yeah.
I completely, totally. You shrink, man. So it's the
you
same.
are not shrinking.
The wrong parts of me have shrunk. My shoulders, my traps, everything. It's all like gotten
Yeah.
smaller. So I got to go ahead and build that back up.
Okay.
I'm going to build it back better. And nobody has to vote for that. I'm just going to do
Yeah,
it.
but you know what you do have to do? You have to go inside the gym.
I did go to the gym. Carson?
I got a picture.
He actually
Yes.
went?
Yes.
He sent
Oh,
me
you
a
should
picture.
have posted that. You should have, look. That's like a picture
I didn't
of
know
Bigfoot,
if he wanted me to
man.
post a
Whatever.
selfie.
No,
that
it
he
was just
did.
a hey, I'm here and I'm
Yeah.
looking for you. She showed up after I did.
Yeah,
but
he
that's
shames
fine.
me. I don't see your car here.
Well, no, because
No,
you
I
guys
know.
shamed me on the show. Y'all are like, "Oh yeah, Bubba's not going to go."
Well, Bubba,
and
you're
so y'all
like,
were
come
calling
on.
me out. So
You're
yeah, I sent.
notorious for this.
I know,
This is your thing.
but I sent a text and
did.
I was like, "Look, I'm here," and I showed like the treadmills behind me, and I drew a little person on it, and I was like, "Carson?" with a question mark.
Yep.
Like, where's Carson.
Yep. I went and got on my ARC trainer about an hour after you left.
Yep. I guilted her. Y'all guilted me. I guilted
I mean,
her.
I
It's
didn't
full
guilt.
circle.
I was going.
She goes every day.
Yeah, it was
sometimes
fine.
twice.
I will go later today. Even with my sprained ankle, I will be there.
How'd you sprain your ankle again?
I'm stupid. So my guy room, like the little area that is like my little spot in the house, it's like the catch-all. So Stacy had put the vacuum cleaner back in there, but she didn't put it where I always keep it. And it was I'm walking through the middle of this room in the pitch dark, but I know where everything is because I can go, okay, well, here's the sofa. I know where I'm at. And I just wasn't walking. I wasn't watching where I was going because it was dark. And I stubbed my pinky toe on the vacuum cleaner. Ugh. And I lurched forward like, ah. And when I put my foot back down on the ground to catch myself, I stepped on a shoe wonky and just kind of twisted it. I'm like, this is the dumbest injury. Like, I do dumb stuff and I'm fine. But when I get real injuries, it's always in the dumb ways, like the Barbie, walking in the middle of Target, pulling a calf muscle, stupid stuff, or tearing that calf muscle. It's like dumb injuries are my injuries.
Yeah. Well, I think you're gonna recover, and before you know it, you're gonna be like, we're not gonna be making fun of Bubba. He's gonna be like, man, I'm doing my first 5K this weekend. We're gonna be like, what? You're like, yeah, I'm doing it.
I'm riding my first 5K.
It's gonna be like, wow, okay, well, we didn't see that coming, and here he is, gonna surprise us all.
I will.
Yeah,
I
you
will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
I
to
can
the
see
gym today
Bubba
too.
in the kitchen making his 5th K-cup, and I can.
I
how
get it,
proud
5K
I'll be.
cup?
Yeah, because that's the only 5K you're doing, man. That's it.
I'm glad you explained that because I didn't get it at all.
This is 5K cup.
I was like, what?
That's actually pretty clever. We need to actually organize that event.
Yes, it's the Big D and Bubba 5K cup event.
That's one I can get behind. No, so I have to actually run once we do the event that we're doing after this. Big D and I have the thing to go to. Thank you, Patrick, for getting the bicycles.
Oh yeah.
I have to go run back to the house, bring my wife to this thing. She's going day drinking with some friends, and then I'm gonna have to pick her up, and then I'm gonna bring her back home. So while she's doing her little event for her friend's birthday, I will go to the gym.
Good for you.
So that's how I'm going to bide my time. So I'll be there 2 days in a row.
So Carson, are you you're not going to the Garth show tonight though, are you?
No, I went
Ryman?
looking for tickets today, and they still say sold out. I was just hoping against hope that maybe a couple would open.
Yeah.
Now, would you go and hang out in front of the Ryman and see if you could get scalper tickets?
No, I've never done that, but I know people who have, and it's worked for them. Actually, last night, some woman tried to sell me tickets because she had too many. And she's like, do you have any tickets? Yeah. And she starts giving me this whole thing about, and I was like, man, let me stop you. I have tickets. Mm-hmm. So you might want to go try to find somebody else. But there's really nobody hanging around
because
looking
now
to get
the
'em.
tickets are all electronic. Like, that kind of went away.
Right, yeah.
Well,
I went out to the football game last Sunday, and there was nobody walking around selling tickets anymore. It's kind of over.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Because it's all on your phone. There's no physical tickets.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah,
The end of an era.
I kind of miss those guys. Kind of seen them.
What I
The
miss
I
is,
need tickets sign.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say
need
them
tickets.
asking for tickets. I need 2 tickets, 2 tickets. And then they're actually selling.
Yep.
Hey, big man. That's me.
I get that a lot. I got that a couple of times on Sunday. I got a couple, hey, big man. And that's
I did that once. I actually did sell tickets to one of those dudes. I actually ended up with 4 extra tickets, and I just went to him and was like, dude, here they are. They're club level. They're good. It was a sold out show, and I didn't make all my money back, but at least I got something.
Wouldn't it be cool if club level was actually a club?
Yeah.
And like you walk in, it's like,
sometimes it is.
We all like
Sometimes
stacked
there's actually
sandwiches
a
with
club.
toothpicks.
Yeah.
No one opened up for Garth.
That was just him. Trisha came out, but that was middle of the show. But yeah, it was just Garth. So, and it was interesting because they're making all these announcements that there is absolutely no photos, no video, no audio recording of any kind. And if you've ever been to the Grand Ole Opry, just for, regular Opry show, a lot of their ushers are older. And so even though they're repeating over and over, you can't take pictures, you can't take video, what happens? Immediately the phones go up and you see all these little folks
Oh, here
trying
comes
to be
Meemaw.
so
She's gotta
polite.
tell you
She's
to put
trying
your
to be
phone
so
down.
nice. But one of them, she just starts batting her hand. She's like, no,
she's swatting you on
and
the-
and you
Do
know what?
not get on Agnes's bad side.
Good for her.
man.
Good for her doing it.
I'm sorry, Mildred, I forgot. You better put that down.
Put your phone up.
You know those
That's
names
the
are going
same
to come
thing-
back one day and be very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mildred and Agnes and Irene.
I'm naming my
and all
son
these-
Roy. That's like an old man name, and I'm here for it.
It's actually a great name.
It's fantastic.
So why don't they let you take pictures? I don't get that.
My speculation about this, and so I don't actually know, but I think it's because the show that Garth does, it seems very spontaneous. However, it's Garth, right? This guy is meticulous to a T. And I'm not saying that there isn't some spontaneity in it, but I feel like if you are posting videos like, oh my gosh, wow, Garth covered Jim Croce and he covered Otis Redding, it's a very special experience. It feels like
Feels like he's doing it just off the
In-
top of
Off
his
the
head.
top
And
of
I've
his
seen
head.
In
it.
Garth's
And
defense, I saw it with I saw Michael Bublé back in the day, and I was like, man, this is one of the greatest concerts ever. This guy is amazing with the crowd. He was like saying dirty jokes and this and that, and I'm like, my wife and I both left and we're like, holy crud, who knew he was that good and that, just sharp and everything was whatever off the cuff. Then we saw the YouTube videos of the exact same show. Then we
takes the
started going.
magic away.
Then we started going down that rabbit hole, and it was terrible because I found like 7 or 8 shows, and it was the exact same jokes done the exact same way. And
Did
I'm
you
like,
see the one where the guy, he pulls a guy from the audience and they sing together? And he's like, oh my God, this guy's really good. Come to find out he's like a professional, awesome
Yeah.
singer. And it's just like the whole thing's staged.
There's
It's
a guy
like,
that I used to really be into named Glenn Hansard. He was in a band called Swell Season. He still tours as Glenn Hansard, but like he was an incredible storyteller. But it all felt like he was just kind of coming up with it. Like Bubba said about it felt so real. And
Yeah,
then they
he's a
put the
good actor.
live album out of the Swell Season album, and they put it out, and it was It wasn't the venue I saw it at, and every story, every pause, everything, it was all perfectly worked out. But you know what? That's fine.
It's like stand-up
when I was
comedy.
there, I
It is
didn't
like
know.
stand-up comedy, but the difference is with stand-up comedy, you know that a comic has worked on their routine. You know that they have done that. That's different because it's advertised. Everybody knows that a stand-up comic has ironed out all the wrinkles so that you have the best time and it's whatever. With the stage thing like that, and I'm not bashing on Bublé at all, but I'm going to use him as an example. You go there and you're totally bamboozled. They have you fooled into thinking that this person is better than they are. Why not just say, we worked out this show. This is the show for this year or whatever. I don't know.
I know. You know
no,
why?
because
Because
to
it is
say
his
that
show,
he's
and
better, that it seems better than he is. No, he is that good.
Exactly. Just because you don't know. By the way, the fact that you didn't know he wasn't making it up
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what I
spot
said. He's a
makes it
terrific
Then he did a great
incredible.
job.
Yeah,
Yes.
Do you call wrestling fake just because it's choreographed?
I mean,
Ballet is, and you're fine with it, right?
I have
Carson
not
with
seen
her
a ballet.
defensive wrestling. It's still real to Carson,
I
Dave.
haven't seen
what
a
in the
ballet.
world? What did she just say?
She just said it. You think wrestling's fake? She's just over here.
It's just choreographed. It's fine.
It's fine.
So, but that's why if
headline Carson says wrestling's not fake.
but I felt that's I don't know that that's the case, but that's my overall vibe is that you really do feel that it's just Garth riffing off the top of his head, and why ruin that magic for other audiences? He also, I mean, I know everybody films at shows and stuff, but we all know he pulls the stuff off of YouTube.
Oh yeah.
So you can't.
So what's the point?
You can't find it
Yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah.
you're putting it up on
And you know
Facebook.
what?
Speaking of
Try to be in
wrestling.
the moment. Try to be in the moment. Like let
Yeah.
it go. And now the thing at comedy shows is what's it called? It's called a something bag.
That bag that they lock them out.
Where
of.
when
you put
go
the
to
little lock
and
on
they
it
put
and-
it in
Yeah.
your phone in the bag and they
yeah.
lock it. And
I'm going to
it's-
tell you what.
You know,
Honestly, having my phone in my pocket for the majority of the Garth show, because I might have snuck a video at the end. It actually really was. I can't remember the last time I went
You're
to a
more
show
in
and
the
did.
moment.
Yeah,
You're not worried about,
and I'm
let me
laughing
get the right angle.
and you're just in it. So I didn't hate that we had to do that. It was cool, actually.
I was going to tell you, have you checked out Stars Heels?
Not yet.
Yet?
I need to get my Star subscription back.
Carson is a huge wrestling fan, always has been. And it's just something that
I know,
it's
it's-
interesting. But yeah, there's a show on Stars called Heels. and it's about a small town organization of wrestling, and it's so good, so
It's
good.
our buddy Alexander Ludwig.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in there, and just anybody who's into any. Actually, it's even better than wrestling. Like, I don't know. There's some. You like all the naked stuff, like in Outlander. There's a lot of that.
Oh, well.
There's a lot of that
I don't
going
need
on.
that in my life.
Well, maybe your wife does, and maybe
What was that?
I'm just saying.
That was a dig.
That was a
That
damn.
dig.
I'm not saying as a
I
dig.
don't let my
'cause
wife watch stuff like that.
My wife and I
In
watch
front
those
of me.
shows together. We watch that together. We watch
All
the
right.
heels. Yeah, man.
I feel like I didn't need to know that.
By the way, you didn't have a gold for us today.
I did, but I didn't get to it. I had it, but
Yeah,
there was
we-
never a natural moment. I was going to save it until next week. I can use it now.
Go ahead.
There is a tie-in
What is a podcast
because
without a gold?
well, here is this week's gold, and I hope he's watching right now. Reno Collier made this week's golds.
I can't move my top lip. I can see my truck, though.
I can see my truck.
So
That's when he's high.
he went to the dentist, and they like totally got him completely under the influence, and he had no clue the stuff he was talking about.
I can't move my top lip. I can see my truck, though.
So great. It's a great interview you'll have after the podcast.
That's
so
not
enjoy.
on the interview because the
No,
interview
that's a
that we have
different
at the end of the
thing.
podcast is him actually in the studio. So
Well.
it's totally different, and he's actually sober. I mean, not sober, but you know what I mean. Like he is sober, but he's not high on laughing gas.
We have bikes to deliver, guys.
Yeah, we got to get this over there too.
Okay.
I can't move my top lip. I can see my truck, though.
All right, so stick around for that. If you're listening to the podcast, you'll be able to check that interview out right after the closing jingle. If you're watching on YouTube, hurry, go and subscribe on any app that does podcasting, and just search Big D and Bubba's Weekly Podcast. I will say, please, a plea to you, rate us highly. And share it with your friends
5
too.
stars.
Because 5 stars, whatever the highest you can give us that, because it helps the algorithm spread the podcast out there. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get past 17 listeners.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Maybe. Yeah.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's okay, because you can listen to the regular show on the radio every day. It was the podcast.